Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Jack Kempster.
And me, Liam Underwood. In this episode, we are going to be discussing the first 6 episodes of Cowboy Bebop. But before we get to that, it's time for my favourite segment, catching up with Jack and Liam. So Jack, you've been busy, little boy.
Well, yeah, I went on holiday.
Yeah? So tell us all about it.
I went to Bulgaria.
Where's that?
Eastern Europe.
Okay.
It's quite close to sort of Russia and that area.
Oh, okay. What made you want to go there?
It's very sunny and quite nice.
Okay, yeah.
It was also, we did a last minute booking of an all-inclusive. And it turns out when you leave it last minute, you do get it for cheaper, but you don't have a lot of options.
Well, no, I mean, there's obviously going to be a trade-off doing it last minute. So what sort of options did you not get?
Well, at one point I'd suggested Iceland.
Yeah?
Because I'd love to go up there, but they'd all sold out.
That's a shame, because I think...
it's quite popular, Iceland.
Yeah, especially after Game of Thrones.
Right, I'm pretty positive that isn't the reason.
Everyone I know who's gone to Iceland has gone to see the Game of Thrones locations.
Right. Well, I'm just going to... Shot in the dark, Liam.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that's not the reason that it's, like, fully sold out. I don't think it was hotels just full of people walking around dressed as Cersei and...
The other thing, if you're going to go to Iceland, surely you do it when the Northern Lights are happening.
Yeah?
I don't see why you'd go and not be able to do that as well at the same time.
Yeah?
It's probably a good thing, really, that you're going to get to Iceland.
No, I'd like to go to Iceland anyway. I feel like the fact that your two reasons for going on holiday to Iceland are like Game of Thrones and the Northern Lights.
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole country there, Liam.
Yeah, I know. We might even have listeners there. Hello.
Hi. I'm sorry I couldn't come out and see you guys.
Yeah, but instead you went to Bulgaria. Don't think we've got any listeners there.
We might do.
Yeah?
They all spoke English.
They spoke English.
English, it turns out, is a fairly common language.
It's not the most common language in the world, though, is it?
Not based on population.
No.
Because there's a lot of Chinese people.
But based on popularity.
No, I don't think we're particularly popular. I think our language just was one of the ones that got spread quite a bit, so people have just sort of resigned themselves to speaking it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So, this holiday of yours, tell me, what were the highlights, what were the lowlights?
I went on a jet ski. Every time I go on something fast, I forget beforehand, I'll forget how much I like to go fast.
Yeah.
And then someone gives me, like, a jet ski, and they say, you turn this to go fast, there's no brake.
Yeah.
I go, okay, cool. And I slowly make my way out to sea, because the guy said, oh, you got to be slow.
Yeah.
Slow going out, slow coming in.
Why is that?
That's fine. Just because there's like a little, you get like a narrow sort of lane that you have to go out to get to the bit where you can fuck around.
Okay.
And like people could potentially get into that bit.
Yeah.
Like, they're not meant to, but someone very easily could have,
got in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. If it's slow.
But then as soon as I got out to the fast bit, Liam.
Oh, yeah.
I opened that throttle up.
And?
Fuck, I like going fast.
How fast does it go?
At one point I looked and was doing, I think I was doing 50 kilometers an hour, which wasn't a lot. But then I stopped watching the speedometer because I was getting faster and didn't care about how fast I was going. I was just enjoying.
Would it not have hurt if you'd have fallen off?
Probably, maybe it would have stung a little bit. It's quite hard to fall off.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things where you could feel.
What if you bumped into like a dolphin or something?
Surprisingly, there were jellyfish out there.
Yeah, but they're mostly water anyway. I'm talking about like if you actually bumped into something a bit more tangible.
Right. Well, this basically Bulgaria sits on this thing called the Black Sea.
Okay.
Which apparently, I don't know if this is true. I have not verified my friend's facts.
Yeah.
But I believe him after being on that sea and seeing it. Apparently, it's 10 times saltier than a standard, seawater because it's like an inland sea, so it's all cut off.
Yeah.
So the only life that lives there is jellyfish and some very hardy fish. I don't think dolphins are thriving.
Okay. Any sharks?
No, not that I know of.
Okay.
Just lots of jellyfish.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Did you get stung by any?
Nope, I didn't fall in.
That's good.
They were also quite far out.
Yeah. You know what to do if you do get stung, don't you?
I'm pretty positive they said that was a myth. I don't know who they is. I'm pretty positive that's a myth.
Yeah, no, you get some, like, jellyfish cream.
I don't think that's a thing.
It should be.
I don't know how often people are being stung by jellyfish.
Enough that it comes up regularly in sitcoms.
I don't think sitcoms are a good gauge for what's common.
It's hard to tell, really. So any holiday romance?
No.
Did you get your body out?
Yeah.
That explains it.
Low blow.
That's like, you're not ashamed, so it's fine.
Yep, true.
So what were the lowlights?
The low lights. Oh, I've got a good low light.
Okay.
We, so, coming back on Monday,
Yep.
we got to the airport. I think we left the hotel at like 11:30, got to the airport like 12:30. Looking at the boards, everything seemed fine.
Yeah.
Went through security, did all that bullshit. Then we got into the actual, like, so once you're through security and you're actually in, like, with all the shops and shit.
Yeah.
Sitting there, looking at the goddamn boards, and our flight got delayed by 2 hours, and we were like, oh, you know, that sucks, but it's 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's not horrible.
No.
We ended up at that airport for, I believe, 6 hours.
Yeah.
Because our flight just kept getting more and more delayed.
Why was it being delayed?
I think that eventually we got in contact with someone, and they said there was some sort of engineering thing that had gone wrong on the plane.
Okay.
That was meant to be coming for us. They were going to divert another one to come and pick us up.
Yeah.
But that didn't ever happen. So eventually we got the plane that they had fixed, and the pilot was like, I'm very sorry about all that. Blah, blah, blah. But I don't know, something had gone wrong with it.
Okay, well, to be fair, you kind of want them to be delaying it if that's the reason.
Yeah, until they had said, oh, we're diverting this other flight to pick you up, because then I was like, well, fuck you for then not doing that.
Yeah, true.
Airports just aren't fun.
If it all goes well, they're fine.
Even then, like, security always annoys me at airports. Yeah. Always.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what I try and pack in my hand luggage, like, basically the times I've gone on holiday with this group, I started, the first year I went with them, I didn't take luggage for a week's holiday.
Right, that's not good.
I had enough stuff in my hand luggage to last me a week. Literally, I had enough clean clothes for a week in my hand luggage.
Yeah.
Which was fine until I had to empty that goddamn bag at security.
Yeah.
Was like, cool, never making this mistake again. It was the first time I'd like gone on a plane and travelled to another country.
Okay.
So I was like, cool. I figured that out.
Yeah.
Simple. Next year, went with all my chargers were in my backpack with my electronics, which, as you can imagine, is a fair amount.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a big deal, but I'm the guy that then they have to get 2 fucking trays for you to fill all the shit in.
I'm that person as well, to be fair.
That's so annoying, because there's like, it's not designed for you to have 2.
Yeah.
They're cumbersome.
They are.
There's space for 1, and you're like trying to shove 2 on, and then someone else tries to put theirs in between your 2, and you're like, no.
Yeah.
Mine need to go through together. Let's not confuse this. So this year, I took barely anything. I had an iPad, my 3DS, I think, what else did I have in there? That might have been it. Oh, and my Kindle. 3 things.
Yeah.
That's all I had in my hand luggage. Still got 2 fucking trays. The guy was like, you can't have your iPad in that same tray, and I was like, really?
Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
What do they think? What am I? It goes through a machine that scans it.
Genuinely.
What are they trying to stop me doing?
When I went to America with work, I think I ended up with 3 trays, because not only did I have an iPad, not only did I have my PlayStation Vita, not only did I have to take my work laptop in my hand luggage as well, then I had like actual things for me to play with, like books and magazines and stuff.
Yeah.
So it ended up, I think, 3 trays. Because also the other thing was my wallet couldn't go with those things.
Yes. Oh, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it was. I get what you're saying. Like, the airport part of a holiday is always the most annoying.
Yeah.
But what 3DS games did you take?
Oh, I was just playing. I think all of us in the end we were all taking a 3DS with Pokemon.
Okay.
I was playing Omega Ruby. I think a bunch of the others were playing that Gen 1. And then one of my friends was playing X.
Okay. How many of you ended up going?
5?
And how far did you get in Pokemon?
Pretty far, further than I got last time.
Well done.
So eventually you won't be able to complain at me because I'll have the Legendary and then you can get the fucking Rayquaza.
I don't know if I've even got that cartridge anymore. I might do somewhere.
It's going to be a shame because I'm going to start complaining at you at that point.
I might still have it, to be fair. But until then, I will carry on my complaining.
What have you been up to, Liam?
Well, you know, having kind of... It felt like a week off of recording, even though it wasn't.
Yeah.
I obviously had to busy myself. So I don't know if you're aware of this, but with Magic the Gathering, which is a game that I know you're familiar with, a card game for those that aren't familiar, every so often they release like a new bunch of cards.
Yep.
And my local comic book shop did a draft for when this new set was being released. Now, I haven't played the game since me and you had a day where we pretty much did nothing but play it.
Yeah.
Which was, I think, 3 or 4 years ago now.
You were in your old flat.
Yeah, so at least 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So I was, you know, a little bit rusty, but I thought I'd go along, see what it's all about. I had nothing better to do. It's a Sunday evening, so why not?
That's also the kind of thing that old men do, isn't it? Like, go and try and find out what all the kids are into.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I tried that Pokemon Go app, but it asked me for my date of birth, and I just thought, you know what, I'm ashamed just putting that in.
It didn't scroll back far enough.
It did, but I just thought, you know what, the fact that it's asking me this makes me think I'm too old for it. So that didn't last. So yeah, I don't know if you know how a draft works with Magic the Gathering.
I know one thing, and I don't know if it's I don't know if that's what a draft is. But is it the one where you get a booster pack gets opened, and then like each person takes one card?
Right, that's one way of doing it.
Right. Okay.
That's not the way we did it.
Okay, what was the way you did it?
We all got like a booster pack, so like a fat pack, which I think has like 9 packs of card inside.
Okay.
So you get half an hour to open all your cards, and then from those you have to build a deck of 40 cards. And that obviously will include your land as well. Now, you know, people familiar with the game will know that your standard deck would be 60 cards.
Yeah.
So obviously, this being my first go, I asked a few people beforehand for advice and whatnot, and they said you want to kind of try and focus predominantly on creatures. That's what's going to save you, essentially. So, looking at the cards I had, I ended up going for a green-white deck, which probably won't make sense to anyone that isn't familiar with the game, but I know you are, so that should make sense to you. Well, green's good if you can get past the first couple of rounds, because green is all about growing, essentially, and having like big monsters to throw out there.
And white would be quite good for surviving those first rounds, right?
Yeah.
It's quite good at putting out creatures quite early.
Yeah, that's the theory that I was going with.
Yeah.
Obviously,
I guess it didn't work, judging by your tone of voice.
Well, I mean, obviously, there was 12 people in total, okay? And I hadn't played a game in years. So what do you think would be a sort of satisfying place to come out of 12?
If you hadn't played in years...
Yeah. Didn't really know the rules, in all honesty, because obviously each set has a new set of rules.
I'm assuming you didn't come that high, and I would say anything above, I think 10th, seriously, because I assume that people that go there are good.
Yeah.
So I'd hope that there'd be a couple of other people that weren't that good.
Okay. So
I'm expecting you to finish in the bottom 3.
Okay. So my first game, I've built my deck.
Yeah. I hope it just starts with you getting slaughtered in like one turn.
My first game, I'm against someone, and they're like, right, I've got a risky deck here. I've gone for 3 colours. Now, obviously, this is going to make no sense to people that aren't familiar, but I'm going to try and keep you up to date. With Magic the Gathering, generally, you want to go for a 2-colour deck.
Yeah. So
3 is risky, because the way it works is you need to get land to play your cards, and land is split into 5 different colours. So, obviously, a 3-colour deck is risky. He slaughtered me. Absolutely annihilated me.
I'd assume, though, if he'd gone 3 colours, I'd assume he knew what he was doing.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'd expect that one to be it. The moment he said, I've got a risky deck, I'd have gone, right, Liam's lost that round.
Yeah, Liam really lost it
This guy
super
knew
fast.
enough that he was like, I'm taking a risk. You should have been like, I tap out.
Yeah, super fast. I'm just gone. I'm like, right, I don't even know like how my deck is supposed to work at this point, because I haven't had enough turns to really figure out what's going on. So, and you get, it's like best out of 3. So, First game, slaughtered. Second game against this same guy, annihilated. I was like, cool, this is going to be a real fun night, isn't it? Next opponent, it's this girl from Southampton. She's come with a group. There's like, I think 5 or 6 people from Southampton had all come to this event.
Oh, okay.
Now, she was on my level. I liked this girl, because she also didn't really know the rules.
Cool.
So, I was like, right, this is good, because like when someone's really into it, you can't just joke around and have a bit of fun, because they're very intense. Whereas with this girl, neither of us really knew what we were doing. So quite often we'd have to get someone over to check some rules. And it was fine. We weren't taking it very seriously. I slaughtered her by mistake. You know, I was having fun. Just annihilated.
How did you accidentally slaughter her?
Just by winning really quickly. Didn't even realise that was happening. Do you know? Just, like, it wasn't like... You know, sometimes you're like, oh, I know exactly what I'm doing, and this is why I'm winning. Wasn't that.
Okay.
It was just an accidental win. So I was like, okay, well, we'll chalk that up to maybe I just drew really good cards and you didn't. Next game, I also won real quickly. And she was playing, I think it was a black and something else deck. I want to say black-white, but I might be wrong. So I was like, okay, well, maybe, you know, it's just bad luck of the draw. But she was very gracious in her defeat. It was fine. So at this point, I've lost 2, I've won 2. Next game, it's against a dude who was helping me build my deck. So he already had an unfair advantage, because he knew what was coming. He was also in training to kind of be like the sort of person that goes to these events and makes sure everyone's following the rules.
Right, okay.
Like, I don't know what you'd call that person.
Yeah, they've got a name.
Nerd.
I don't know what it is. Very good.
He slaughtered me real quickly.
Yep, unsurprising.
Again, like, just... You know, so in Magic the Gathering, for those that don't know, you start off with 20 life, and once it gets reduced down to 0, you lose. I think I maybe, at my best, got him down to 17 before he killed me.
And was that I imagine that was like, you had something on the board, and he was like, he had enough on the board to just kill you, and you were like, I attack, and he was like, I'm just not going to bother blocking
Yeah,
this.
it was like, I'll take it. I was like, cool, thank you.
Let him feel something.
Yeah. And then we get to the last game of the night, okay? It was against this woman. And
Wait, last game of the night?
yeah.
But there were 12 people there.
Yeah, but obviously there wasn't time to do, like, you versus everyone. So the way they did it was basically the people who won would play the people who won, and the people who lost played the people who lost.
Oh, okay.
And then they tried to even it out, so like if you won 2, lost 2, you'd play someone else as close to that as they could find.
Yep, got you.
So there was a woman there. She wasn't like everyone I'd played when I was like, oh, I'm very new, so you'll probably have an easy time with this. They were very friendly, very gracious, and kind of really helped with explaining the rules. This woman, I got the impression she was familiar with the rules. She played quite frequently. The way I could tell that is the people that played a lot would put their cards in little card protecting things.
Yeah.
The people like me didn't really feel the need to do that. So we were sat at a different table for this game, and it was a lot wider than the last table, so I was really struggling to see what she was playing. And a lot of people, they're at that level now where they say the card they're playing, and the person they're playing just knows what that card is. I was not.
I think
you're
allowed to ask to see their cards.
Yeah, I had to. She wasn't like forthcoming, but everyone else was like, do you know what that does? No, cool, have a read. She was just like, I'm playing this, and just put it down. I was like, cool, doesn't help. What does that do? So she wasn't the friendliest, let's say. And I as soon as I saw the fucking card protectors come out, I was like, well, this is... I actually said to her, you're going to have an easy win here, aren't you? So we played the first game, and I win. And I have to admit, quite like... It wasn't a slaughter, but it was an easy win. Like, there was no time when I felt particularly troubled or worried. So I was like, okay, that has to just be down to I got very lucky with what I drew, and she got unlucky. The next game, Jack, holy moly. It was the most intense game of Magic the Gathering I have ever played.
Which isn't that impressive, seeing as the times you've played have been with me and at a draft.
Yeah, but seriously,
and maybe in the past.
It was fucking crazy. At one point in the game, I shit you not, she had 37 health. Remember, listeners, you start at 20. And this is not the sort of game where it's particularly easy to get more health.
Well, if you've got like a healing themed deck.
Yeah. I don't know what her theme of the deck was because I couldn't see half her fucking cards. But at one point she had 37 health. I had 2. It was at this point that I nearly did the gracious thing and just tapped out and said you win. But I thought, you know what? Let's see this through. That's not
a gracious thing to do unless like that.
Honestly,
I only have experience with Hearthstone, and
yeah,
you tend to concede. You concede if you know they're going to win the next turn.
Yeah,
and there's nothing you can do.
So
that's when
the first game she conceded because I was just steamrolling. This game, I was like, right, I could concede because 2 against 37. I literally can't see how I come back from this. But I was like, I'm going to play one more hand and just see what happens. Oh boy, there's a card called Tenacity. Okay. What it does is it gives all of your attacking creatures +2 and lifelink. For those that don't know, lifelink means any damage you do, you gain back as health. In our first game, it's an instant, by the way. So for those that aren't familiar, and Jack, correct me if I'm wrong, but an instant card means you can play whenever, right?
Yeah.
Like you can play at any point during your turn, or even any point during their turn, yeah?
Yeah.
So our first game, I played this card, and she said you played that wrong. So what I did is I declared my attack, and I got a little bit too excited, and I played the card, which kind of revealed a bit too much of my hand. It allowed her to then better prepare how she was going to sort this out. So she said, you've played that wrong. I was like, oh, sorry, I don't really know what I'm doing. She was like, no, what you've got to do is wait for me to declare blockers, and then play it. I was like, okay, fair enough, good to know. So the next game, that's what I did. She was not happy. She was like, wait, I don't think that's how that works, because now you're hitting me for like 15 damage all of a sudden. I need to do a rules check. So there's this dude who won the night, and literally his entire life is Magic the Gathering. Like, he knows every single card that's ever been made. He knows the fact that this new set, they're printing on different card, it smells different, and they're using different plastic for the wrappers of the booster packs.
That's just fucking upsetting.
Yep. He was the sort of person where I was like, do you know what? I'm completely happy with the fact that you've won the night, because you're not going to win anything else in life. So she checked with him these rules, and he was like, okay, so how did you play it? And I was like, well, I declared my attack, waited for her to declare blockers, she didn't, so I played it. He's like, yep, that's fine, that's how you're meant to do it. And in my head I was like, yeah, I played it how she fucking told me to play it in the last game when she said I played it wrong. So, if you think, I did 15 damage and got that back in life. So suddenly, we're back on even Stevens ground, pretty much. It was honestly the longest game I played, but I won. And it was such a sweet victory, because she was just so kind of unlikable, if that makes sense.
But you're saying this, Liam, and I, having known you for all these years, I can't help but, like, look at this story and be like, now, was she actually unlikable, or was it just Liam being Liam?
It wasn't Liam being Liam.
I can't help but picture this woman being like, oh, I'm sorry, yeah, I don't think that's how you play that one. I think you're meant to, like, do this, and you're going, oh, okay. And then, like, in your head, when that next thing happens, you're like, I'm going to do it fucking properly. And she's like, oh, wait, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I need to do a rules check. Because that makes sense. I've done that before in things, being like,
but here's the thing.
That's the way site works, and then being like, well, that seems overpowered. Let's just double check that.
Yeah.
And then you're like, fuck you. And they're like, what?
I mean, here's the thing. The clue is in the kind of card title where it's an instant. Play it instantly.
My assumption would be that first time you played it, that wasn't playing it wrong either.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
I think what she was saying was, like, I think she was legitimately trying to help you.
Honestly, if you could have heard her tone, I think you changed that opinion.
No, I know, but like, here's the only way. I mean, unless she was just an obnoxious, B word.
Yeah, we're allowed to swear on this show.
Yeah, I know. I thought we might try and make this one a PG-13.
Oh, okay, we can try it. Have I sworn yet?
I don't know, for fuck's sake.
Probably. You just said the F word.
So unless she was trying to be a bitch, or was a bitch.
Yeah, she was.
Like, yeah, I don't know if we can trust your judgment on this.
Yeah.
Because the only logic I could see would be, because if you play it before they declare their blockers, right?
Yeah.
Then they're just not going to block with their stuff, or they'll, like, it would change the way they would block, right?
Exactly.
So I can only assume she was legitimately trying to be helpful.
Honestly, I think the reason why she wanted a rules check is because the first time I played it, it made sense to me, like, why I'd done that wrong, because it did give her an unfair advantage. Yeah. Equally, the first time I played it, I was only, like, attacking with, like, 2 or 3 creatures at the time, so I was getting, like, +6, which isn't a big deal. The second time I played it, I was attacking with, I think, 7 creatures. Or maybe 6. Let's say 6. And I think she was like, oh, wait a second, I need to rules check this because I'm fucked. Basically.
Yeah, but that's not a dick move.
It was just the tone.
No, but I know. I agree with you. It sounds like the lady was a bitch.
Yeah.
But like, that isn't a dick move. This is for anyone that it goes out after listening to this and is like, oh, I'm going to try a Magic tournament. Like,
oh, they should. I would highly recommend it.
Having a rules check is fine.
No, it is.
There's nothing wrong, especially if something crazy happens where you're like, holy shit, this game just literally flips from this man about to lose to now we're drawing. Like, it's totally fine to be like, is this okay?
Here's what I'd say. If you're in that situation, get the rules check done at the first game if you're not sure. Because if you've said, oh, I think this is how you should play it, I just think if that's what you've said, you should then sort of be like, right, well, we've agreed that's how it's going to play, so that's how we will play it.
That's not how it works in tournaments, though.
I mean, it wasn't an official tournament.
That's how it works with me and you.
Yeah. And this is why...
when we're doing it, we're like, we don't really understand what's happening for most of it.
This is why I enjoy playing the Southampton girl so much, because she was exactly that same mindset. She was like, well, if we both agree this is what we think it means, let's play it like that. Which, obviously, we do that not trying to be a dick and one-up the other person, but just being like, the person that knows the rules is busy right now, and we just want to carry on playing, so this is a good compromise.
Yeah.
But yeah, so honestly, that victory was just so sweet. Like, I was so happy with myself. And it was, because I guess I had a green-white deck. It definitely was a sort of deck that the longer the game goes on, the more powerful you get.
Yeah.
And we were probably at like round 20 to 25 by the point that I actually won. But to go from like 2 versus 37 to winning...
that is hugely impressive.
I was so pleased with myself. So I came 7th overall, which I think is pretty admirable.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Speaking of card games...
Yep.
Wait for this segment. Oh, well, no, what's it called? Not a segment, it's a link.
Segue?
That's the word, segue. Get ready for this.
Jesus Christ.
I've been playing The Witcher 3.
Oh, God, this is a terrible segue. Go on.
And it has a card game in it called Gwent, which is fantastic.
It's getting turned into a thing.
I know, it's only into a game. So my question to you is, have you played Gwent?
Yeah, it's not as good as Hearthstone or Magic the Gathering.
No, it's not. It's real, like, rudimentary.
I know people that got really into Gwent, and I never did, particularly.
I like it. I'm not... It's the last match I had was really frustrating because I kept losing. I've just got a load of new cards now, and I'm just about to find someone to play. I'm looking forward to the standalone game that's coming out, but I am curious how they're going to make that into a whole game. Yeah,
see, this is the thing, right? The reason things like Magic the Gathering and like proper collectible card games and things like Hearthstone, the reason they work is it's still got the issue of if you first get Hearthstone and you haven't got anything, you have the standard cards, like the defaults. It's not even... It's more difficult with those standard cards, but it's not important. You can't, like... It's not like you couldn't make an alright deck with those cards. You could.
Yeah.
And you could win with a standard deck. People do it. Like, that's a thing you can do. But having the extra cards is better. Whatever. Things like Gwent, and the other one that I know is... did you ever play Knights of the Old Republic?
No.
Not the MMO one, the, like, old one?
No, I didn't.
Because that had a card game in it, which was just a numbers-based thing. And those games, because you can collect cards and it's part of a video game, it's not like you collect cards that give you a different effect. Like, it's not necessarily better, it just does this weirder thing. It's literally like... You collect this card, it's just better than your other cards.
Yeah.
Any game like that, it's just not going to work, because what will happen is the people that get it when it comes out will have incredible decks that you can't beat.
Yep.
And you'll be like, I'm playing my 1/1 footman, and they'll be like, I'm playing my 5/5 for the same price.
It's ridiculous.
Also, it kills all your 1/1s.
Yeah. That's a balancing issue more than anything, though, isn't it?
But that's what I mean. I think that's the big thing they're going to struggle with on it, is balancing. So Gwent and Witcher 3, you're quite late to it, Witcher 3.
I played it for probably like a good 10 hours or so a year ago.
Right, yep.
The thing with like The Witcher 3 is it's a very dense game, and I had completely forgotten where I was in the story, so I kind of just wanted to start over.
I'm going to have to do the same, because I've done the same thing, like played a chunk and then not played since then.
Yeah, I got up to... I think I completed the stuff with the Bloody Baron.
That rings a bell. I feel like I've met him, maybe.
Yeah, so, I've gone back. I have to admit, like... I also just tend to do this with long, like, RPG games, is I like to play them for a couple of hours, figure out kind of the ropes, if you will, and then start again and kind of do it more right, like the beginning bit.
Really?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
I know, it's weird, isn't it?
That is fucking weird.
So I really enjoyed going around the little tutorial area. I think it's called like White Orchid or something. Orchard? Yeah, White Orchard. The little like beginning area.
Yeah.
I super liked going around and doing all my little quests and finding all my places of interest and whatnot. And then I find with The Witcher 3, you complete that and it chucks you into the first like big map called Velen. It's just overwhelming, Jack. I don't know where to go next. There's just so much going on.
I worry about you, Liam.
I went to the cinema.
Can I have one? Because you've just done 3 things in a row that you've done.
Go on in. I'll let you have one.
I want to talk about something.
Go on in.
Have you seen the greatest TV show ever is back on the British airwaves?
What TV show is that?
Robot fucking Wars.
I had seen this. I can't agree it's the greatest TV show ever.
I loved Robot Wars as a kid.
I enjoyed it. I liked Sir Killalot. I loved
it.
He was my favourite.
Yeah, well, Sir Killalot's good, but Shunt was always pretty cool, and Dead Metal even cooler.
Shunt, wasn't he like a later edition? I swear he wasn't in some of the earlier seasons.
No, I don't think Shunt was. I think they definitely added other ones. Like, there was, by the end of it, they had Sir Killalot's dog and some other... Like,
there was like a Triceratops motherfucker.
She wasn't a later edition, that's Matilda.
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, you're terrible. But I had forgotten it had come back out.
Yeah.
And watched it yesterday.
Who's hosting it this now?
Dara O'Brien.
Oh, okay.
Brian.
I like him.
He's good. Apparently he was a fan of it when it was on.
Yeah, because I remember, was it Craig Charles who used to do it? I remember that. I can't see like them having the same sort of energy and approach to it.
It's very different.
Yeah.
But it's good. I like Dara O'Brien's really good on it.
He's very into his like math and science, so I can see him coming to it from that angle.
Yep. But honestly, mate, they've got some of the robots this series. Like they had, I don't know if you remember any of the old like actual contestants.
No, I
but
don't.
One of my favourite robots of all time was a robot called Razor.
Okay.
Which was literally, whereas most things have like something that swings very quickly, like an axe or a pick or something.
Yeah.
Razor had a pneumatic claw, which it was like a wedge shape, would drive onto your bot so that your bot sort of lifted up a little bit.
I remember
and it had
this.
a very slowly squeezing hook that just tore through everything.
Yeah, I remember that.
Went out in the first round, Liam, of this series.
Oh.
Like they were doing really well, and then another robot like sacrificed itself to take out Razor.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really wanted to watch Razor get to the finals.
So,
But it was good.
I actually feel like this is the sort of show that you would go on.
I wish I could. I wish I had the knowledge to build a robot.
I feel like it's the sort of thing you could probably learn.
Yeah, but I think it's a fair amount of money.
I'm sure you can do it sort of on the cheap.
To build something that built... right, one of the robots, Liam, in this show...
Yeah.
Dara was like, so what protection have you got on your bot? And the guy was like, it's a plate steel. And Dara was like, is that the sort of stuff they'd have on tanks? And the guy was like, yeah, they use it on tanks sometimes. So when you say I could build one cheaply, I think you're right, but it would just die.
That's true.
But there you go. I'm excited. Robot Wars is back. I'm watching the second episode tonight.
Here's a fun fact for you.
Go on.
Get ready. Do you remember when Robot Wars was kind of winding down, they had like almost like a spin-off show, and it was like a Robot Olympics type thing?
Was that by the same people? I remember that show, but I don't know if it was by the same people.
I thought it was. I don't remember what it was called.
Yeah,
but
I know what one you mean.
I went to a taping of it with some friends when I was at school.
Oh, yeah?
Boring. Super fucking boring. You had to just stand in this real fucking cold warehouse for ages while they set everything up, and then just clap every now and again. It was I was bored out of my brains. It was awful.
See, I went to something better than that.
Go on.
For one of my birthdays as a kid, I went to one of the live touring shows of Robot Wars.
Okay.
Which I remember absolutely nothing of. Have spoken to friends who came with me on that birthday trip.
Yeah.
All of us were like, we remember travelling there, we remember loving it,
Yeah.
but none of us can remember what the fuck we saw.
Fair enough.
Which is a shame, because it sounds like it was badass.
Yeah.
Like, because I think it wasn't a taping, it was like an actual,
like a live show.
Yeah, so they actually build it for the people there as opposed to having to stand around and clap.
Yeah, exactly. Can I go to the cinema now?
Yep.
Cool. Liam went to the cinema, and now it's time for his spoiler-free review of the film that he saw at the cinema, because I only had time to see one this week. And that one was Ghostbusters, the new one. Came out recently. It's had a lot of flack, Jack.
I noticed.
That was good. A lot of angry people on the internet aren't very fond of it, because it has women in it, Jack.
I don't think that's the only reason. I know there are people that are angry because of that.
Yeah.
But don't say that everyone that didn't like it is saying that.
Not everyone, but...
Because I've definitely seen reviews where people were like, this wasn't a good film, and their reviews didn't start with, look at all the women.
Yeah, well... It got an... Okay, before we even get to the reviews, once it was just announced, and the fact that it was all gender swapped annoyed a lot of people.
Yeah, I agree with you. There were definitely people that were annoyed by that. I just don't like when you generalise, Liam.
Well, this happens, doesn't it?
You generalising?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you not liking it.
Yes.
So yeah, it is basically a gender-swapped remake of Ghostbusters. Now, personally, I would have preferred it to have been like a semi-sequel of sorts, or like almost like a reboot, if you will, where it takes place in the same universe as the last two movies did, and it kind of will address those events that happened. But the thing with Ghostbusters is it would have been so easy to have done that and then been like, at this point in time, people have kind of almost forgotten what the original Ghostbusters did, and that skepticism of the paranormal had returned.
Yeah.
Like, 100% you could have done that. But instead they just went for a straight-up remake, which is a little, upsetting. But
yeah.
I got over it. The cast, all good chemistry. The highlight by a long shot was Kate McKinnon, who, honestly, Jack, it is worth watching this movie just for her. I predict she will be a new crush of yours.
Well, that's not very difficult to get on that list.
It's not, but out of all four of them, I think she's the one you'd be like, I want to marry that woman.
Okay.
Chris Hemsworth was amazing as this like ditzy receptionist.
Yeah.
Just it had enough chuckles in it that I was happy. I would say 3.5 out of 5, and for me, it was on par with Ghostbusters 2.
That's quite impressive considering the flack it's been getting.
Yeah, the other thing I quite liked is how it incorporated the original cast members with little cameos and kind of little nods and winks. And I've heard some people say it was a bit much for them. I actually quite enjoyed it. I thought it was just fine.
Fair enough.
I've also done a bit of housekeeping I'd like to mention from like previous episodes where I followed up on some stuff. So listeners might remember we did...
You finally finished Attack on Titan?
Fuck no. Listeners might remember that we did book 1 of Preacher a little while back. It's taken a while, I'll admit, but I finally finished book 6, the last book, last week. And it was good.
Yeah.
Overall, it definitely has like ups and downs. There's a couple of... There's like one book that's a bit weaker than the others. And I'd say probably book 1 is probably the best of them. But overall, 3.5 out of 5 again.
Oh, fair enough.
Like book 1, I'd say I think I gave on the show like 4 out of 5. And the one that was probably weakest probably came down to maybe like 2.5 out of 5. So it all eventually meshes and equates to 3.5.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I would say for you, I would recommend sticking with it.
Yeah, I will. It's on my list of things that I need to like carry on.
Okay. Also, last week, Southern Bastards Volume 3 came out. More recently, we did Volume 1, didn't we?
We did.
Did you ever read Volume 2?
No. That's on that list as well.
So, Volume 3, I would say, isn't as good as 1 or 2, but still enjoyable. Not bad by a long shot, it's just 1 and 2 are so good. So, I'm not surprised it's hard to compare.
Yeah.
3 out of 5.
Oh, fair enough. That's still quite good as well. So should I continue that series as well?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
And the other thing is, like, with Preacher, because it's finished and it has, like, a very definitive ending, it wraps up nicely, whereas Southern Bastards is ongoing. So I'd say at the moment it's definitely worth keeping with.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing I've been doing is watching a little show on Netflix you might have heard of called Stranger Things.
I have heard of it from you and other friends.
Who keep recommending it to you.
And the entire fucking internet.
What have you heard about it out of interest?
That it's really good.
Anything about what it's actually about, though?
No, I'm not deliberately, but I'm not particularly... Like, if I see an article of someone being like, oh, Stranger Things, I'll like note the fact that they've said, oh, it's really good, and then I won't particularly go into it.
Yeah, I'm not going to mention anything that it's about. I don't want to spoil any of that.
Yeah.
What worries me with you is you'll have seen all these people saying how good it is, and you'll go in with your little high expectations. That's what concerns me,
No,
Jack.
not particularly. Not for this. Like, I'm not sitting here being like, I have to watch it because everyone's saying it's really good.
Well,
I've just heard it's good, and we'll probably watch it at some point.
I would definitely say try and make that point quite soon, because it's only 8 episodes, and they're, I think, like 40 minutes each. So it's not a big watch.
Yeah, I'll probably do it after I get back from my next week off.
Well, someone's having all of the trips.
Oh, just non-stop.
Culture swap.
Swap my culture.
Go on, Jack. What did we do this time?
This week, viewers, we watched Cowboy Bebop.
Why did we watch it, Jack?
Because I love Cowboy Bebop.
Okay.
And I'm still on my quest to try and find an anime that you'll actually like.
I don't think that's your quest.
It is. No, for real, I want to find an anime that you'll like.
I don't agree. I don't think that's what you want.
Why? What do you think I want?
Because, right, here's the thing, Jack. I've told you the sort of things that I think I would like when it comes to anime.
No, but see, this it's not right. I'm not trying to find... I don't want to find an anime that you like that's obvious that you'll like, if you understand. It's like how, you know, say you've never eaten crab before, and you don't know what crab tastes like. I might give you crab one day, Liam, just to see what you think.
But you've given it to me twice now, Jack.
No, I've given you 2 very different animes.
I would disagree.
You think that... Right, you think Attack on Titan and Cowboy Bebop are very similar?
They both bored me in their first 6 episodes, yes.
Right, that's not at all what I'm talking about, Liam.
They're both...
Thematically, they're very different.
Well...
Attack on Titan is about a teenage boy who, like, is trying to fight giant monsters in his ancient medieval fucking city, and Cowboy Bebop is about space bounty hunters.
Yeah. The thing is, you would think from that description of both of those things that they would be good.
And most of the world thinks they're good.
That's their problem. So, come on, Jack.
I don't think it is. I think it's your problem.
What's Cowboy Bebop all about? Stupid name. Let's just get that out of the way.
It's because the ship's called the Bebop.
I completely understand where the name comes from.
And he's a cowboy.
Completely understand where the name comes from. Doesn't stop it being stupid.
I like that you didn't have a problem with Attack on Titan's name.
I was
That's
okay with that.
A much worse name.
I was okay with that.
Cowboy Bebop
Yeah.
follows Spike and Jet, who are 2 space bounty hunters,
Yeah.
on their quest through the galaxy. That's it boiled down to a nutshell.
Yeah, I think you could boil every episode down to they try and kind of get money for a bounty, and it's always more complicated than it first seems.
Yep.
And that's, at least from the first 6. Every episode, basically.
Episode 6 is less so.
No, it's not.
No, it is.
That it starts with them trying to do a bounty, and it gets more complicated than it seems.
No, episode 6 does not start with them trying to do a bounty.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't. It starts with Spike saying, we should do this bounty, and Jet saying, I refuse to do this bounty, and then you very quickly finding out that Spike is in fact not trying to do a bounty.
He's trying to do a bounty.
No, he isn't.
Yes, he is.
No, that's the excuse he makes to Jet to convince Jet to do it. They have a whole scene where he says to Jet's like, why are you trying to do this? And Spike says, well, if you tell me about your arm, I'll tell you about this. And then you find out that it's like Spike's home planet, and that he's trying to get revenge on this vicious guy.
Wait, you're getting the 6th episode mixed up with the 5th, I think.
Wait, which one's 6?
Or you're getting the characters mixed up.
Maybe I'm thinking of episode 5 then.
Yeah, 6 is, I think it's called Sympathy for the Devil. The one what sounds like you're talking about is the Ballad of Fallen Angels.
Sorry, that is why, I am getting confused.
Cool. Can I go back to making my point about how 6 is the same then?
Well, no, because then it defeats the whole point anyway. Because I'll agree with you.
Yeah.
You'll go 6 is the same principle, and I'll say yes.
Yeah, exactly.
But 5 isn't.
Yeah, 5 is marginally. I can't remember how 5 starts.
You said all 6 were the same principle, and 5 isn't.
I honestly don't remember how 5 starts.
It starts with that bit I was saying about Jet being like, there's a big bounty that Spike wants to do.
Okay.
And Jet doesn't want to do it. And then you find out that Spike's doing it because it's his home planet or something.
Right, so 5 of the 6 episodes then. Majority.
Of a 26-part series.
Yeah, we've only seen
I know your
6.
argument, we're just reviewing the 6, which is true, we are.
Yeah.
But you can't make judgments about the whole series, which is what you tend to do when I give you shit like this.
No, I'm not. As I always say, and I reiterate, this is the first 6 I'm talking about. It could be that in episode 7, it goes very different and gets good. I don't know. Probably not going to find out either.
Go on, make whatever points. Go on, make whatever points you're going to make.
Alright, so there's good and bad to this show. The good is the music.
Yeah.
I loved the music. The bad is everything else. Wait. That's not fair.
I don't think you're trying.
That's not fair.
I honestly don't believe you're going into these with an open mind.
I also liked...
To come out of something and say the only good thing was the music and everything else was
stop.
bad.
I also
honestly,
liked...
I think that means you're going in with a closed mind.
I also liked the animation.
There you go.
So,
that's 2 things.
2 things.
You're getting there. You're starting to open your
2
mind.
2 things. I like the animation and the music. The rest was awful.
So what didn't you like about everything else? Don't just say everything else.
No, I know.
Explain to me what you didn't like.
Okay, here's what I didn't like about Cowboy Bebop. I didn't like that the characterization was terrible. So I felt like from 6 episodes, I felt like I didn't really have a good handle on the relationship. I don't really know why Spike and Jet are hanging out together, going around bounty hunting. I don't know why Spike is a bounty hunter. I don't know what led him to become a bounty hunter. I know very little about his backstory. Same with Jet. Like you said, there's one bit where they mention that Jet has like a bionic arm. Yeah. We don't find out in the first 6 episodes why that is, despite the fact that it's explicitly mentioned. I don't understand why a female character who's introduced in the second one ends up tagging along. I just feel like it feels like they've just kind of chucked these characters into these scenarios and are just kind of hoping that you don't question why. And I very much like to know character motivations.
Here's my logic for that.
Yeah.
Right? Is like before the show we were talking, and I said, if you'd given me Breaking Bad on this show and said, here's 3 episodes, right?
Yeah.
I would have had the exact same thoughts. It's not like Breaking Bad goes, okay, so here's everything about his past and all their relationships. Don't worry, that's it in 3 episodes, and now we're going to give you the rest of the series is just them getting in hijinks and wacky situations. Like, no, but of course the show doesn't go to you, here's their whole backstory, because that's what you do. That's the way you build a character, is by building it over a series. Yeah. You don't build a character in 6 episodes and go, that's it.
No,
sorted.
Right, but what you get so little. Like
normally, but you get it in such a way. But you do get it. You're saying you don't get it.
But here's
the flashbacks of Spike's past.
Normally, in a TV show, you at least start off knowing what kind of makes a character, if you will. You know an amount about them. You know something. So if we're going to use Breaking Bad as an example, in the first episode, you find out he's a chemistry teacher. You find out he's suffering from cancer. You find out that he can't afford the medical bills. You find out his relationships with the main sort of side characters, with his wife, with the brother-in-law who's a DEA agent, with his son. These are all things that you find out in the episode 1 and that kind of play into it as it goes forward. You get none of that with Cowboy Bebop.
No, you do in episode 1.
What do you get in episode 1?
You get the opening, the whole opening about, like, where you see that something has happened to Spike, where he was clearly in some sort of gunfight and gets fucked up and blows everything up, and then it's not...
So here's what I wonder, because you've seen the whole show, it might be you've gone back and seen
No, I don't remember what happened.
Yeah, because that opening was honestly lost on me. I almost forgot about it because I couldn't figure out how it fitted into everything. Yeah,
but that's the point. They're setting up something that you then go, well, I want to know how that ties in, so you keep watching.
But I didn't care why it tied in. Because
I honestly don't think that's the show's fault.
Yeah, because...
honestly, we've got to a point in Nerd on Nerd where I'm starting to think that the problem honestly lies with you.
Like, the thing is...
Like, I don't get how there are so many things on this show that we've watched that people around the world enjoy. And you come to them and you're like, I didn't like this, and I didn't like it for these reasons. And then, admittedly, I'm bad at making points.
Yeah.
So I'm not great for arguing back at you. I just get annoyed with you.
I know you do. Here's the thing, Jack.
Go on.
Normally, with any sort of show, a character will have something about them, some sort of quality, something that's either has you wondering, wanting to know more, has you liking them perhaps. They might have like a quirk or something. They might have like a wicked sense of humour. They'll have something about them where you're like, I like or I don't like this character, and I either want to see more of them or I just want them to fuck off. And I felt with Cowboy Bebop, none of the characters had anything about them that was particularly of note.
But what do you want?
What do you mean? What do I want? Someone likeable.
What would you have preferred? Tell me what you would have liked.
Okay.
As a main character,
right?
Like take Spike.
Okay.
Take them as the base and give me something to make me like them.
Yeah. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to compare Cowboy Bebop to a show that I think it's similar to, but does characters 100% better. Firefly.
Yeah, that would be the obvious choice.
Yep. So you watch Firefly, and the main character, whose name I'm totally drawing a blank on, because I've got Malcolm Tucker in my head, which is way off point.
Yeah, now I've got Malcolm Reynolds stuck in my head.
Yeah. I can't remember the main guy's name. Nathan Fillion, let's call him.
Yep. Captain Nathan Fillion.
Yeah. He just has a real likeable quality to him with his dialogue, with what he says, the way his attitude, the way he approaches situations, and you instantly draw and connect to him, which I feel like you don't get in this show. There's a show that I watched recently, which is Stranger Things. Obviously, I don't want to talk about it.
Please don't, because
no.
I don't want me to spoil it.
But they, again, in the first episode, they do something really neat that immediately keys you into the main characters, like shorthand for their ways of approaching things. And I felt like I didn't get that with this show. So when I'm watching the show, I'm like, okay, I get that they need money. I don't really get why they need money. I get that they're bounty hunters.
I mean, they need money to live, Liam. That's how the world works.
Yeah, but I don't really get why they're bounty hunters.
To make money.
I don't get, so what has led them to doing this? I don't know these things, and I've done 6 episodes now, and I still don't know these things, and that's just frustrating. I liked Ein, the dog. He comes up in episode 2.
He does, yeah.
Do you think that's short for Einstein?
I think you find out it is, yeah.
Yeah, because he's got a little, secret about him that we don't know yet. He's called a data dog, which I guess means he knows shit, but we've yet to find that out. That's probably, some of the most characterization we get is with that.
I think the thing that annoys me most is that I get that we've set this limit for Nerd on Nerd, and at the beginning we set that limit of, how many episodes we do of a series.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And
we did that because we were like, it's unrealistic for us to ask, because I think me and you have both proven that we could easily, maybe not easily, but I think with 2 weeks we could have watched 26 episodes of this. It would have been difficult.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to do it, but we could, right?
In
and
theory.
we agreed that we wouldn't do it because the listeners definitely wouldn't do it.
So not only that, but if it is a show that you're not liking, it's real hard to go. It took me, I think, 4 days to do 6 episodes of this show. And they're 22 minutes. I think the longest was 24 minutes.
Yeah. So it's difficult, right?
Yeah.
I get that. I appreciate that, Liam. But I sat through the whole of Christmas Evil on your instructions, and I will quite happily watch that so that we can talk about it and all this stuff. And I don't mind if you say to me, Jack, this is a film, even if it's not for the podcast, and you were like, watch it, I would watch it quite happily. If you told me there was a TV series that you legitimately like, I don't watch The Walking Dead because I'm annoying you.
Yeah, I know.
That's the reason I'm not doing that.
I know that that it's a show that you like, which is why it's even more annoying.
Exactly, and I enjoy how much it annoys you.
Yes, so it's not just me; it's Kat as well.
I know.
She's livid.
I can hit 2 people with one stone. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
but I'm fine with you not liking Cowboy Bebop at this point. And I'm fine with you not watching Cowboy Bebop, right? Yeah. I'm fine with the fact that or not watching it. I'm fine with you not enjoying it up to this point. You've watched 6 episodes and you're like, I've not enjoyed those 6 episodes. Yeah. That's fine, right? But when the rest of the world is like, this is a great anime, like 9 on IMDb is pretty fucking high, especially for an anime, which, you know, when you get shit like Naruto, which I liked Naruto, but that's like what people think of in the Western world as anime. Yeah. Naruto, all those like ones that are aimed at a younger audience.
Like Dragon Ball Z is one that I think is very, like, in my mind,
I
it's
like
very
Dragon
anime.
Ball Z, but it's not. Yeah, but it's a very traditional like. Oh, we're going to charge up for 3 episodes, whatever.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
It's all right. There's some good storylines. Yeah, you know it's that kind of thing. But when that happens, when the world is like, this is legitimately good, and I'm like, for real, it's good. Yeah. I'm fine with you coming on here and saying you don't like it, but it's when you're like, and I'm definitely not going to watch the rest of it, and I'm like, but you must see that clearly it either is going to get, if you honestly hate it 6 episodes in, but the world is like, this is great. Do you not think it's possible that this show gets better?
Here's the thing. If I had nothing else on that I wanted to actually watch, I'd be happy to spend the time giving it a chance.
Yeah, but Liam, you told me some of the other shit you want to watch, and some of the other shit you want to watch is an American fucking football boot camp. So don't fucking turn around and tell me. Also, South Park, which at this point you must have seen South Park.
No, so why I'm getting excited about South Park is so me and Kat have been rewatching it from the beginning. It's taken us fucking ages because we have like long breaks in between. We've recently finished season 10, and it's the last season that I'd seen. So everything from now on that we watch is going to be new South Park to me, which is why it's very exciting.
That is exciting. That's fair. But I don't understand how you don't have a spare 22 minutes a day. Not even a day. Fucking watch it every other day, mate. For real. I'd be fine if every other day you were watching an episode. I don't understand how you don't have 22 minutes.
Here's why I'm saying I'm not going to watch it.
Do a shit, Liam. For real. Just be like, I'm going to have a 22-minute poo. And do a poo. That's fine. I don't care. But you can easily find 22 minutes. Easily.
Wait, while I'm pooing?
I don't care. Just literally find 22 minutes in your day where you're doing something shit like pooing and reading a magazine. Yeah. And just go, actually, instead of reading this magazine that's just about films, I'm going to watch an episode of Cowboy Bebop. Or be like, oh, I've got 22 minutes where I'm just, usually I would be doing shit all. I'm making dinner. I'll just watch it while I'm making dinner. You can find 22 minutes.
You have
don't
to
use
pay
I
attention.
have no time as an excuse.
You have to pay attention when you're making dinner.
I mean, you can also watch stuff. People very commonly do 2 tasks together.
I struggle.
I don't. Yeah, but I don't believe you.
No, come on, it's me. You must believe that.
Yeah, no, I don't believe you. I'm not letting you use it as an excuse.
Here's the thing with Cowboy Bebop, and why I'm saying I'm not going to watch it. It's because with Attack on Titan, it felt very obvious to me. If I remember rightly, episode 6 felt like a turning point because it was basically episodes like 1 to 5 was all them, like everything happening in them at a training camp. And episode 6 felt like, right, I can see that the show is changing. And you even said, from this point on, it goes very different. And I was curious about that, but the fact that I never bothered to sit down and watch the rest, and that's a show where I could see things were changing and I was curious. With this show, I've done 6 episodes now. It hasn't felt like anything's changing. If I'm not going to do Attack on Titan, I can't see me doing this.
I like that your counter-argument to me saying, I think you could find 22 minutes a day to watch this. Yeah. Right? I like that your counter-argument was, but I didn't do it before. That's not. I don't know if you understand how this works, but saying that's like me you going, Jack, watch Stranger Things, and me being like, yeah, but Liam, I also need to watch Walking Dead, but I'm not going to watch Stranger Things because I haven't watched Walking Dead yet. Like, I'm going to watch Stranger Things and Walking Dead.
You should.
I'm going to do both of them, Liam.
Yeah, but right.
I'm going to read Preacher and I'm going to read Southern Bastards, and I'll find time for them.
You should, but so where am I going to find time?
I'm saying you should find time for this. But why is it okay for you to tell me that I should find time to watch something and get annoyed when I don't do it, when I'm telling you this is a good show?
Here's the difference.
That I think you will enjoy by the end of it, but then you're like, I'm just not going to bother.
The stuff that I'm saying to you should stick with, Stranger Things aside, is stuff that you've already experienced a fair amount of and you have liked. So it makes sense in my head to be like, well, he's going to like the rest.
Yeah, but you say aside from Stranger Things. You can't.
Yeah, but you haven't
because that's
done
one thing,
anything
and I'm telling
yet.
you to watch one thing.
You haven't done any of Stranger Things yet. If you'd have
No,
done,
I haven't, and I will.
Right.
You know I will.
Okay, then do Breaking Bad, Jack. It's
I
a show.
No. See,
no,
that's different because
How?
I didn't watch 6 episodes and go, "This is really obvious. I see where it's going." I gave it a series and a fucking half to get me interested.
You didn't like it. And I've said, I know that you didn't like it, but stick with it. And you went, I didn't like it, I'm not going to.
Liam, just out of interest, how many episodes are in Series 1 of Breaking Bad?
I think 8.
Right, so I gave it 8 times 40 minutes. Let's be fair, it's not a full hour.
It's not. Yeah, yes.
Let's say 45. So I probably did about 6 hours maybe slightly under. How many hours have you done of Cowboy Bebop? Around
just over 2. Bit over 2.
So good job, yeah. Use Breaking Bad as a comeback to that.
Yeah,
I gave something 8 hours of my life on your basis and other friends' basis.
Here's the thing.
You won't give Cowboy Bebop more than 2 hours.
Here's the thing.
Because you've not got any time because you're watching South Park and an American boot camp thing.
And Smallville and Twin Peaks and Band of Brothers.
Smallville's not an excuse because you've had. Did we decide it's like 3 years now that you've been watching fucking Smallville?
No, I've only had it like under 1 year so far.
It was when the podcast started. You were telling everyone about how you were watching Smallville.
Yeah, so that was really November last year.
So maybe 2 years.
No, we still haven't quite done 1 year yet, Jack.
That's still a long time.
Yeah, I know. The thing with Smallville, right, is it's got real boring this season. And the last season wasn't great. Because, right, here's the thing. And I'm going to talk about Smallville now for a little bit because it's more interesting than Cowboy Bebop.
No, we need to talk about Cowboy Bebop.
We'll get back to it, don't worry. And again, this ties into your whole character motivation thing. The thing with Smallville...
That's not my thing, that was your thing!
Yeah. The thing with Smallville...
This is why people think I'm nonsensical. It's because you twist arguments and turn them back on me and then try and make my point something that they're not.
The thing with Smallville is I was loving the stuff between Lex and Clark. And I think the first 4 seasons it's very heavy on that. And then it starts sort of kind of laying off that a little bit as they try and build Lex up into more of a villain. So they distance Clark from him. And this last season particularly, they've had hardly any screen time together. And there was an episode recently that I watched where they had a good scene together. And I was like, oh my god, this is Smallville back in its stride. This is when the show is good, when you've got Lex versus Clark. But they haven't done that for so long, and that's why it's annoying me. Now with Cowboy Bebop, there's no characters. I'm like, fuck, I can't wait to see them two on screen together. Tied it in.
Yeah, really well.
Thank you. I'm still curious, genuinely, as to why.
No, you fucking aren't. Don't
it.
say you're curious. Don't say you're curious, because that's a lie.
I am. I know.
No, it is, Liam. It's a lie. You can't say you're curious about this if you aren't watching any more of it. Don't lie.
Did you hear the end of my sentence?
No, I'm not listening to you properly anymore.
Yeah, you should head the whole sentence.
No, I can't have a reasonable discussion with you. I'm going to just be like this from now on. This is now Nerd on Nerd forever.
I'm curious as to why you like it.
Because it's good.
Right, I get that, but you're not giving me reasons.
Because I like Spike. I think that Spike is an interesting character. I think finding out about his history is interesting. I like the way that the relationship between Jet, Spike, Faye, and Ein evolves, and Ed, who you haven't met yet, and you don't meet for quite a while, it turns out, after I looked it up. But that's fine. I like the way their relationship evolves, because throughout this series, they're telling the story of this crew on this ship, figuring out what they are as a crew.
See, that
I find that stuff interesting.
That also doesn't really, to me... I get what you're saying, but I feel like beyond one thing happening in episode 2, there's not a lot of continuity between these episodes. You could watch them out of order, and it wouldn't massively affect what you get from each episode, I don't think.
Yeah, not 6 episodes in, no.
Yeah.
Which just leads us back to the issue, Liam, of you not watching any more of this fucking show.
Mm.
So I don't think it's a good argument for you to use.
Yeah, no, it definitely is.
Right.
We had some correspondence.
I'm still talking about Cowboy Bebop. Fuck you.
Go on then. What were you saying?
I just wanted to get more angry at you.
Okay, cool. So we had some correspondence from Kat Fyson.
The things I like most about Cowboy Bebop, I really enjoy the way, they've taken a traditional sort of sci-fi premise, right, of sort of
Space bounty hunters.
That's sort of that's been done a fair amount, right?
Han Solo, Boba Fett.
Yeah, it's like a traditional sort of thing, and they've sort of
Predator.
They've thrown it into like a sort of different universe. Like it's not. It's got the high tech levels of your more traditional sci-fi stuff. They've got hyperlanes and that sort of thing. Like, you know, traveling great distances in very short amount of time. But then they've still got that feel of Firefly, where Firefly feels a bit more low tech. Like he's using bullets. They've got like magnetic soles of their boots to keep them on ships and stuff. Like not inside the ship, but when they're like outside.
Yeah, when they're like spacewalking.
Like it's not got. So it's kind of it's weird. I don't know. I like that. I like the way they've sort of twisted the two together. It's quite original.
What I would say is just one thing it hasn't done a very good job of, in my opinion, is establishing, because if I'm right in thinking, it takes place in a sort of near future, right?
Yeah, I after looking it up, I think it's 2071.
Okay, so it aired, what, 98?
Yes.
So, say 80 years from when it aired. And I'd say it hasn't really done a good job, for me, of explaining what's changed in those years. It's kind of like, it's obvious a lot has changed. And I'm not saying I want them to sort of, because I know you're going to like completely take this out of context and be like, well, you want a whole episode where they sit down and they talk through exactly all of the politics that changed.
It does kind of sound like that is what you want.
Yeah, no, I just want some sort of like way where we can track, oh, okay, we've got from this point to that point and that's how. Just nice, easy sort of, this is just something, because they're flying around to different planets that have presumably been terraformed. It's all done where it's like, you just have to accept it. It's like, deal with it. This is what's happening. And I think in some shows that works fine. That kind of like, we don't give a fuck if you're following or not attitude. In this, would have been nice.
One of the other bits I like about Cowboy Bebop, like you said, the music is a good point.
Yeah, music.
I really like
good.
the way that each. I don't like. I said it to you before, and I'm not sure if it is there's a specific theme for each episode.
Yeah,
but there's the music in each episode sort of fits a style.
Yeah.
For that episode.
Yeah.
Which I think that's quite cool. I really like the way they've done the music in it. The fucking intro music to Cowboy Bebop is a great intro to an anime. Compared to some of the other ones.
I think I might prefer the outro music.
The outro music is also very good.
Yeah. I also quite like at the end when they have the like coming up on the next episode. Sometimes it's just pretty straightforward and it's like, this is what's happening, blah blah blah. But sometimes the characters do like a kind of little commentary over what's happening next.
Yeah, see, I didn't watch them this time. I remember watching them when I first watched it.
Yeah.
And because it's a fairly common, by fairly common, I mean, I think it happens in pretty much every anime series, is they do the whole, like, next week's episode and then have either someone talking over it. Does Cowboy Bebop, because I haven't watched them this time, is it that sometimes they have the Bounty Hunter news guys do it?
I haven't seen any of that in these 6.
See, that ring, I think maybe that happens in some of the later ones then.
My favourite...
You know how they've got those two...
cowboy
people, yeah.
One of them ties very nicely into my point I have with Faye Valentine about how women are just really just questionably represented in the way they're portrayed, like not character based but like appearance based. Very gravity defying breasts squeezed into like the smallest bra possible.
Yeah. I think that's a common, again, it's not an excuse for it,
no,
but it is a very common anime thing.
Yeah, like, as I said to you before, I wouldn't have a problem with it if the men were also portrayed in such a fashion, but the men kind of are given lots of trench coats and layers and don't really see Spike sort of just milling around the ship in a thong.
See, so my, like, counter-argument to the whole over-sexualization, because the over-sexualization happens on... like you say, two notable characters, Faye and the news lady.
Yeah.
But then you've got people like Mama as well.
Yeah.
Like, who's the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Because she's not particularly sexy at all, him.
No.
I don't think. But then for that newsreader,
yeah,
in my head, and I don't know if this is the way that when they wrote it, they were like, that's why she's like that.
Yeah.
But in my head, that's how the media are anyway. Like, a lot of it, like, fucking weather girls.
Yeah.
It's like the worst thing. They're just like, oh, we need someone hot to do this.
Yeah.
Right? So in my head of this sort of grungy, like, kind of fucked up world they live in, which seems to be full of criminals and, you know, not particularly nice people, it sort of makes sense to me that there would be that whole, like, well, we need this. If we need someone to be doing news for our bounty hunters,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
girl
yeah.
will be
It's like the show's saying that in the 70 years from when it was aired to when the show is set, feminism just stopped.
No, I disagree, because feminism doesn't mean hot weather girls aren't going to disappear because of feminism.
Not yet.
Do you know what I mean? I'm saying that. I think you're trying to make that a bigger point. Not your point. Your point is whatever you want your point to be.
Yeah, my point is it's not equal representation. It's very kind of like...
See, okay, so does equal representation
Yeah.
mean that... So say someone does something... Say their character makes a decision for the character's self.
Okay.
So I don't think that Faye, the character...
Yeah.
I get why she's doing it.
Yeah.
Because of the character she is, right?
Yeah.
Does that make it sexist? Because it makes sense for the character.
No, but what it doesn't make sense... Okay, let's use the bounty hunter news people, right? Why you have the woman scantily clad but not the man?
Because that's the way the world, as bad as it is, that is the way they do things in the world. Like I said, you don't get hot weathermen.
Yeah, but I honestly...
going, look at this sunny sky. But you do get hot weather girls going, look at the clouds.
But I think you're just saying all this because there's no point in the show that I've seen where it seems to be making a wry commentary on how the world currently works.
No. I'm not saying they were doing a commentary on the world.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if you extrapolate from now, and say we have in the world at the moment TV shows that use hot women to try and get attention.
Yes.
Which isn't good. I agree with you.
Yeah.
That's not the way we should be doing it, but that is the way things happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they're extrapolating from that. It's also 16 years old or 17
years
years old. So it was even worse back then.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, I get the point you're making. But what I'm saying is, because it's set in a sci-fi place, right? They easily, if it was set now or even 17 years ago, it would have made sense. But it's a sci-fi place, so there's nothing stopping them from being like, "Hey, both are scantily clad. Why not? It's 70 years in the future. Men might have got to that point."
Right.
Do you know what I mean? There's no reason not to do it.
I get what you're saying. I think it's stupid, but I get what you're saying.
Good. Because there's no reason not to do it, is there?
No.
Exactly.
Sure.
So yeah, that's just one thing I would have liked. But yeah, go on, carry on with reasons or things that you liked about it, because I think our listeners want to hear.
I think the way they do the fight scenes in the series, it's not the greatest fight scenes I've ever seen in an anime. I've definitely seen ones that are better, but I quite enjoy the sort of way they've done it, the style of those fight scenes.
Okay.
I like the way that Spike uses a gun, but is also the whole martial arty traditional character in an anime. Very good at punching people. I enjoy that. I like the fact that Jet would appear to be the kind of guy that you'd imagine would be a brawler in those sort of things, but tends to seem to use the ship more. That's his thing.
He has a robot arm.
He does. You'd imagine he'd be very good at punching people.
You would.
I also liked the portrayal of drugs in episode 1. Was it episode 1?
No, it's 2.
No. 2's... I thought 2 was Datadog.
Which is the episode where Faye's introduced?
3, I think.
It was that one then, wasn't it?
No. She doesn't... No, because the drug one is... No, the drug one's the first one, because it's just Jet and Spike.
What's the drug?
Where they spray that stuff in their eyes.
Oh, yeah, so that is the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked that, because that's a good way of establishing that the universe is, as much as they haven't set up a story for the characters, and you don't like the fact there's no history to it, or they haven't established the history, I like the fact that you can tell, from that first episode, you can see why there are bounty hunters. Not necessarily why these two people are bounty hunters, but you can see that there is these problems in this universe.
Anything else you like?
Oh, no, you start wrapping up, and then I'll find something I like, and I'll interrupt you.
Okay, cool. So we had some correspondence from Kat Fyson.
Yep.
She said, "Less anime, more comics, please and thank you."
That's weird, that, your girlfriend saying that.
I honestly, I didn't ask her to say that.
Oh, no, I believe you. I 100% believe you. But she is still your girlfriend, so I imagine you two have, a fair amount in common, whilst couples also have things that set them apart that bring them together, Liam.
Yeah.
I can see you and your girlfriend agreeing on your dislike of anime.
Well, she hasn't really watched a whole lot of anime, so I don't know where she's coming from with that.
It's also, we've only done 2 animes, which is...
Yeah, and the thing is, the anime that I suggested to her to watch, she fucking loved. I don't think she's watched either of the animes you've suggested.
What anime did you get her to watch?
Barefoot Again.
Ah, okay.
Which is obviously not a TV show, but still counts.
Yeah, no, it does, 100%.
Yeah.
We're definitely in the future doing Princess Mononoke.
Good. So my request is we now don't do any anime until we've done Barefoot Again, and
yeah, that's fine.
Here's why as well, because I think from the two that you've suggested, people might get the impression I just don't like anime. Just in general, I'm very blinkered to it.
Yeah, no, that's incorrect. We know that's incorrect.
Yeah.
Me and you do.
Yeah. So
you actually, in fact, like one anime. So you're doing much better than what the listeners might be thinking.
Exactly. And this is why I think, again, it's the thing with anime, it's not really a genre, is it?
What do you mean by that? It's not a genre as in... Because there's genres within anime.
It's like if you
It's a style.
If you looked at Western animation, you couldn't be like, well, South Park and Finding Nemo are both animated, so they fit together. So that's why I think it'd be very naive to say I don't like anime, because there's so much variety to it.
Yeah.
I'm just disappointed that you haven't gone, right, well, this is what Liam likes, so here's an anime that I think would fit that.
But as I say to you every time you bring this sort of thing up, or you don't like one of my suggestions, I'm not suggesting stuff that I think you'll like.
No, but I want you to.
Right, well, that would be very boring.
No, because I might find something that I like.
No, because you're very set in your ways. Like I said at the beginning, I feel like the issue you've got, and I don't know how true this is, Liam, but it's honestly, this is how it's coming across to me, is that you're super close-minded.
Okay.
Like I've said to you, I have gone, like, whenever we do something, you were worried about High School Musical because I went in and said, I don't think I'm going to like, or I don't like the idea of High School Musical, but I know I'm going to love it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how I am with things. If someone gets me to watch something, I honestly try to like it.
Yeah.
Or find some reason to like it. Like, Breaking Bad is such a weird exception for me. I don't know why I didn't like it. I still don't understand why I didn't like it.
I still genuinely do wonder if your opinion on it would change if you watched the rest, or if you just wouldn't be able to get over how difficult it was for you to get into, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. It would be interesting. And when I've... Like, how many series of Breaking Bad? Is it 5?
It's, 5 in total.
Like, when I have the time to do 5 series, it might come up again. I might, at some point in the future, try and watch it. And start again from the beginning.
But this is the issue, I think, at the moment, is there is just... We're spoiled for choice when it comes to TV content.
No, I've got plenty of time. I've got tons of... Seriously, I could honestly add probably 2 series that I could be watching.
That's crazy.
Into my life. I have time.
I don't know how you have that much time to do, you know... At the moment, my time is divided between TV shows, reading comics, playing games, films, and then there's actually going outside and sort of seeing the world and talking to people.
No, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, how do you find the time?
When you consider that I'm doing the whole volunteering thing as well every week.
Yeah, that's like one night gone.
I go out weekends, I'm usually out 1 day a weekend, maybe 2.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing that I've got so much time, and considering you live at home, I'd imagine, like... You don't have any travelling?
No.
It's mental. I come down and see you some weekends? That's crazy, Liam.
Yeah, how do you find the time?
Oh, I don't know, mate. It's mental.
Yeah, I honestly don't know how you... I think there's not that many shows that you're that interested in. It's the only
but you're only watching sort of 3 shows, right?
Fuck knows. Let's think. 4, I think.
I'm being consistent. I'm thinking... Because in my head, watching a show is either every day or, like, at some consistent time. Like, I don't know if you can count Smallville.
No, because I had a bit of a break from that.
I feel like you're not watching that.
I had a bit of a break.
Yeah.
Twin Peaks, like I watched the first episode, but I just haven't had time to go back to it. Like the other thing is, if I get into a show, it's going to be all that or nothing, you know?
Yeah, that's how I tend to. Like, I could add 2 series if I was watching 1 a day, but usually I'll like Mr. Robot. I did.
Yeah, that I want to see
in 3 days. I think total.
Yeah.
And 2 of those days I was on airplanes.
Yeah, exactly. There's just so much, Jack. So much content to consume. And then what's even more frustrating is when you have to watch something you don't really like for the podcast instead of watching the things that you like. That's frustrating. So I wonder if you'll like what we do next time.
Yeah, probably. Like I said, I'm quite happy to go in with an open mind.
I actually don't know if you will.
I like bringing that to the podcast. I like bringing the idea of someone being able to appreciate something that they might not have originally thought they'd like.
Yeah,
I think it gives the listeners a nice counterpoint to the stick in the mud you.
I was 100% willing to give anime a try.
No, I don't know if you were. I'm pretty positive we've had discussions about anime before this where you were like, I'm not going to enjoy it, but I'd like you to prove me wrong. I don't know if that counts.
Not really.
Being like, I don't like this kind of thing, but I'll try. And then watching 6 episodes and being like, I'm not going to watch any more.
So, okay, so you want me to watch all of the rest?
Honestly,
and
I
then,
would like you to watch the rest of Cowboy Bebop.
What if
you
I
don't
still
like
don't
Cowboy
like
Bebop
it?
by the end of it, right?
Yeah.
Then, okay, I will stop badgering you about all the animes and that stuff.
Okay.
If you watch the whole of Cowboy Bebop. And I don't want a year from now you to go, I watched the last episode.
Yeah.
That will not count.
No. How many episodes?
26.
See, the only thing that makes me inclined to...
Oh, okay, yeah, cool. I sort of expected that to come. But
What?
Go on.
What?
You're trying to find a way out of it.
No. If you let me finish.
Okay, sorry.
The only thing that makes me inclined to watch it all is the fact that I actually spent money and bought it on Blu-ray. I spent.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you should watch it based on just that.
Yeah, I spent 30 Great British pounds on it.
That's a lot of money, Liam.
I know. It's even more frustrating when you don't like it.
Which is why you should give it a chance.
I've given it 6 episodes of a chance.
That's
but
not much of a chance. I'm saying give the whole series a chance.
I might, because it's what is it? 2 seasons in total?
No, this is it.
Just all 1 season.
There was a movie, but I won't add that on as a thing.
Good. So I might do a couple more because, like I said, probably the 6th episode.
I don't think I'm okay with just a couple more. I think the deal I made with you was that you had to watch the rest of the series.
The 6th episode.
If you watch 2 more, I'm afraid I'm going to still pester you.
The 6th episode.
But if you watch the whole thing, I'll stop bugging you about this stuff.
The 6th episode was probably the best of the first 6, which was the one about the little kid who couldn't.
See, I think episode 5 was my favourite, but that might be because, like you say, I've seen the rest of it.
Yeah, again, the thing with episode 5 is because we don't really know a lot of his backstory, to suddenly chuck that in and you're like, right, this relates to his backstory, but I'm not 100% sure how or why. It just felt very, weird. I didn't get it entirely. But 6 was definitely better, I thought, which was... the only thing I didn't like about 6 was it was very much... It did that thing that sci-fi tends to do at times, where they're like, we presented this problem, and we're just going to take a bullshit solution to it. And I think episode 6 would have been better if they didn't give a whole lot of justification for why this thing can't age. I didn't need to know it was all about some hyperspace gate collapsing thing. That doesn't really make a lot of sense anyway.
I agree with you on that one.
But, you know...
is there a name for it? There is, isn't there? There's a name when things do that. When movies give you a... What's it called?
It does have a name.
There's that one specific thing that they have to solve the problem, and they always get it.
Is it something to do Ex Machina?
It might be that Deus Ex Machina.
Deus Ex Machina. Is that it?
Might be what I'm thinking of, yeah.
Yeah. And the preview for the next episode, the preview bit was quite funny, because it was one of the ones where it wasn't just here's what's happening, it was the characters talking over it.
Yeah.
Because I think the next episode is called Heavy Metal Queen. So they had a heavy metal music playing in the background, and the characters were yelling, and they're like, I don't know if they can hear us. And that was quite, it brought a smile to my face. So
we'll see if you watch any more.
Yeah.
I don't want the listeners to get their hopes up, because it's the kind of thing you'll say to shut me up for this episode.
Yeah.
Do.
Yeah. And the next episode, do you watch any more? I'm like, nah, mate, I watched things I actually wanted to watch instead. I'm really looking forward to watching this American football docuseries, man. I've got such high hopes. After Friday Night Lights, which was just fantastic, I've got real high hopes. Because I'm picturing it basically being Friday Night Lights, but a documentary.
I don't know if it will be then. I don't know how accurate Friday Night Lights was.
No. But I'm excited, regardless. I'm probably going to watch an episode tonight.
That's fair enough. Well, let me know what it's like, because I might give it a watch as well.
Yeah, I'll let you know if it's worth watching. But obviously, for you, I'd say prioritise Stranger Things over everything else. Just because...
I will be. I don't think we'd be able to watch it this week, which is annoying, so I might have to leave it till I get back.
Yeah, the only thing is what I wouldn't want is for you to accidentally stumble across a spoiler or something. On,
I probably won't in the week I'm away. There's not much internet connectivity in the middle of it.
No, but between now and then, and also between you getting back and finishing the season.
Yeah, I'm just not going to have time this week.
2 episodes a night and you'd have it done.
I've got a thing at work that has to be done in 3 days, and I have a meeting on Wednesday after work.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we've got the Bachelorette final tomorrow.
Yeah, we've got yeah. So I've not got tomorrow. I've not got Wednesday. I probably won't have Thursday. So Friday, I've got to go and take all my stuff down.
So you know how literally 10 minutes ago you were making this point about how you have so much time that you can watch loads and loads of TV shows.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much.
Oh yeah, no, not this week.
No.
But then I get back, so I'm leaving on that Saturday, and then I'll get back on the 13th.
Yeah,
I imagine that week I'll probably get Stranger Things done.
Yeah, No Man's Sky will be out by then, so I guess you'll be, doing a bit of that, I guess.
Yeah.
And I guess it is. Walking Dead only finished airing in May of this year, I think it was.
Like I said, though, I'm just not watching that to annoy you, because I find it hilarious.
It's a terrible reason, though, isn't it?
It feels like that's why you're not watching the end of a lot of shows. So
what, to annoy you?
Yeah.
No, it's just because I don't like them.
It's sort of my it's like petty revenge, really. You don't finish these things because you don't like them, and while I suffer because I don't get to watch The Walking Dead,
which you do like,
I can fill the rest of my time with other stuff. That's right.
I feel like you're the only one that's losing in that.
Oh no, I think you and Kat are getting annoyed by it. So there's like a little bit of you guys, like probably not as much, but
No.
I'll happily take that sacrifice.
Okay, cool. I'm sure it's very valiant.
Yep.
We didn't really get a lot of correspondence in about Cowboy Bebop, which is disappointing.
Yeah, we don't get much correspondence about anything.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
Fair enough.
I don't think anyone gets to this point in the show.
No, that's true. If we
Except maybe Tom.
If we are
Tom.
Hey Tom, thank you for sticking with it. Hopefully the audio is still good, but fuck knows really. If you look at our YouTube stats and like our viewer retention, definitely
It's great, isn't it?
Oh, it's like 11 seconds.
Fantastic.
So I think we're doing something wrong in the first 11 seconds.
Maybe we should spice it up.
Yeah, maybe we don't start with the word hi or welcome. That's the first word.
Yeah. Did we say what we were doing next week, Liam?
Not yet. We haven't done what we'd give Cowboy Bebop out of 5 either.
That's true.
So
What would you give Cowboy Bebop out of 5, Liam?
you're not going to like this.
Is it going to be low?
I've given it a lot of consideration. And
If you give it a 3, then you're right. I won't like it.
Oh no! I'm not going to give it a 3. I'm going to give it a 1.5 out of 5.
Fair enough. I give it for those first 6 episodes, probably a 3.5.
That's quite low considering.
Yeah, but I agree with you. Those first 6 episodes aren't the greatest.
But you also said about Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Is this a theme with anime? Because if so, I'm going to warn you now. We're going to real struggle getting me into anime. If every single one we watch, you're like, well, the first 6 episodes aren't the best, but it gets better.
I don't think it's with all of them. I think those 2 definitely have slower starts than others.
Okay.
Wait till we do FLCL.
Can't wait.
It's not got a slow start. That one just drops you right in it.
I probably won't like that either, will I?
Oh no, you don't like anything, so...
I like some things.
Nah.
Next week, listeners, we're doing a film called Mutual Appreciation. I won't be surprised if you haven't heard of it. And that's not me being, like, snobby about things. It's just, it is a very much, like, under-the-radar kind of film. To be honest, probably doesn't even register on most radars. But we're changing it, aren't we, Jack?
Sure.
We're bringing some attention, some much-needed attention to the what one of us might consider a little-known gem, if you will.
I mean, yeah, you would consider... I've never watched a Mumblecore film.
It is a Mumblecore, yeah. For those that aren't aware of what Mumblecore is, tune in next time to find out.
Where you'll have lessons with Liam.
Yep. What I will say about this film is, while it's not my favourite of the Mumblecores, but it is almost like one of the more, I think, classic examples of what you can expect from Mumblecore in general. Like, I've seen a fair few from the sort of... It's not really a genre, it's more of a movement. And this, to me, kind of encapsulates what a lot of the others are trying to do.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Because that'll give me... Because I haven't watched anything, I imagine.
Yeah, so I think this is a great, like, taster, if you
Yeah.
want to see more or not. I'm very curious, Jack. I'm going to be honest. I am super curious how this is going to fit into your massively open mind.
We'll see. I imagine I'll enjoy it, but I could also see it being the kind of thing that I won't enjoy.
Yeah, I also think it's very up in the air. You could definitely fall down on either side of the fence. I'd be surprised if you were just like, meh, it was okay.
Yeah. It feels like it's the kind of thing that I'm not going to be in the middle on.
Yeah. Like, I gave it 3.5 out of 5, just to give you some sort of guidance. Little spoiler there. I've got to rewatch it, because it's been a while, so that might change.
How weird would it be if you came back and you were like, it's a 1?
It's happened before. It's happened
Has
before.
it?
Yeah. There's been movies like that where like you watch them and then you just go back and you're like, what the fuck did I enjoy about this? And equally, a flip side where you watch a movie like, oh, it's terrible, and you watch it again and you're like, wait a second.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I've definitely had that before.
Yeah. I think this is the thing that's interesting about people is when we review stuff, right? What you have to bear in mind is we are bringing to it.
I'm trying to picture how funny it would be if I just stopped recording right now. As you've gone
terribly.
The thing I find interesting about people, if I just stopped.
Very terrible. But yeah, the thing that I find is interesting is when we like review stuff and whatnot. What you have to bear in mind is we bring together like individually our own histories, and everything that we've watched and seen and consumed has kind of moulded our tastes up until this point. So, you know, when I'm talking about a show like Cowboy Bebop, we have to bear in mind that I've seen like a handful of anime films and Attack on Titan, and that's it. And it could be, let's say we carry on doing Nerd on Nerd for at least another 5 glorious years. Maybe we'll do a a series of shows, right, where we go back and revisit stuff that we didn't like previously and see if that's changed. Maybe between now and then I'll have a load of new anime experiences and I can go back to it with those behind me and appreciate it on a different level.
No, I don't think so.
We just don't know because people change constantly.
I just don't think you'll ever watch it.
Well,
I think a year from now I'll suggest you rewatch Cowboy Bebop for the show and you'll go, no.
See, do you know what's actually annoying about this?
Go on.
I was super tempted to like give it another try and do a couple more episodes, but you're getting so like, well, I don't think you will, blah blah blah, and I know that you're trying to do reverse psychology on me.
No, I'm for real not trying to reverse psychology.
I've given up. I see through it, Jay.
Okay. I don't know how I can convince you, but 100% I have given up on you with these things. When you say to me, I'm probably not going to watch the rest of it, I get annoyed, but in my head I've already gone, he's not going to watch the rest of it.
So you've just given up on me and anime, have you?
Yeah, I'll just talk to Dan about it.
Cool. So we don't have to do any more anime then, right?
Oh, no, we're still going to do anime, just not Cowboy Bebop. That's cool.
But we've given up on anime, you just said.
No, I said I've given up on trying to get you to watch the rest of Cowboy Bebop.
Okay, fair enough.
Like, I don't think you're going to watch the rest of this show, so I've resigned myself to the fact that I just won't talk to you about Cowboy Bebop. I'm still going to try and get you to watch anime, because I genuinely love anime and would like to... I genuinely want to find something that you like. I get that you're not going to like all of it, and that's fine.
Yeah, I genuinely want to find something that I like as well.
I think when we hit the films, it'll be easier.
Yeah. I think there has to be a coming-of-age meets horror anime show. And
but that's the thing. I don't want to just find something that is obvious that you'll like. Like,
what's wrong with that?
That's so boring. Like, this show could easily degenerate into Jack gives Liam a coming-of-age / horror film. I don't want that.
Liam would love it.
That wasn't the point of Culture Swap.
Liam would love that. But what I would be curious is if any listeners have any recommendations of anime that they genuinely think I would like, if they could email us in. Because if we're being honest, Jack, we have had a couple of listener suggestions of things, haven't we? But we could do with more.
Yeah, we've got about 4.
Yeah, and we could do with just a bit more variety in them.
We'll probably be doing one of them in 2 episodes' time, probably.
Maybe.
I think we need to get through them. It's just that we've got... Because there's all these issues with me being on holiday and stuff coming out like
No Man's Sky. Yeah, I mean, I really do want to get around to doing Sense8.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Joanna still listens, to be honest. Wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't.
No, probably not.
One of the things that we need to talk about offline, still online, but offline from the podcast, is what we're going to start doing nerd on nerd related. Like, are we going to go to Twitch? Are we going to go back to Blab? And once we figure that out, listeners, we'll make sure to let you know.
Yeah. We definitely... Yeah, don't worry if you think we've disappeared off all of the, like, other stuff we were doing. We are definitely coming back to it.
Yeah. It's just one of us has been busy little boy.
And one of us went to America.
Yeah.
We've had... It's, we hit that time where people tend to be away.
Yeah, exactly. And we didn't really have any contingency plans.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe next year we do.
We'll have sorted our shit out.
That is doubtful. It's so doubtful.
It's 100% not going to happen.
We had like a good 2 shows where we recorded them all pretty much in one sitting, and it was minimal editing, and I don't think we'll have that with this one.
No, probably not.
So that'll be fun. So yeah, just to recap, next time, mutual appreciation. I would be appreciative if anyone listening, anyone at all, if you're out there and you're still listening, thank you. Just give this film a go. You might not like it, right? It will probably be something different to other films you've seen. It might not. I don't know what you've seen, mate. But give it a go and just let us know what you thought, You can tweet us.
At Nerd on Nerd.
Thank you. You can email us.
At nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com.
You could subscribe to us on YouTube.
By YouTubing episode 1, It's Just a Fleshlight.
And leave a comment.
On that specific video.
On any of them.
Leave a comment on that video about what you think about this mumblecore.
Any of them. We'll find your correspondence.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it's going to be really easy to find you if you comment.
Yeah. So, if you could do that, that would be absolutely lovely. Do you know what else they could do, Jack? That would be really nice.
Go on.
Rate and review us on iTunes.
You could indeed, listeners.
What should they give us?
At this point, anything.
No.
Give us a 1-star just so we know people are listening.
Don't do that. Give us like a 4 or 5. Like, obviously, only if you think we deserve it. If you think we don't deserve 4 or 5 for producing this free entertainment on a bi-weekly basis for you that we've lately been really fucking good at sticking to, like real fucking good, If you don't think we deserve a 4 or 5 for that, for free entertainment, you're welcome. Just don't leave us anything.
Yeah, that's fair.
That might explain why we've not been left anything.
Or maybe make a fake account and give us 5 on that one.
Yeah.
Just because you're a decent human being.
Yeah.
And then on your real account, rate us like 2.
Oh yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Because that probably balances out at about, overall we'll be getting like a 4 or a 3.5.
Yeah, I'd be 100% okay with that.
Yeah.
But, just let us know you're out there.
I think we're just shouting into a void, Liam.
It feels like that, doesn't it? I mean, obviously, we know we've got Tom. What I will say, Tom, if you're listening, is I'm missing the fan art.
Yeah, we haven't seen that for a while, Tom.
So, the other thing that's a real fucking shame, and this is you, Jack, this is all on you, is I was, just so our listeners know, I was super amped about doing a special episode on Stranger Things, which we now can't do because you won't get watched in time. And then...
No, I thought we were doing what? You didn't even mention a special on Stranger Things.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I sent you a WhatsApp, or something.
When?
A while back, I was like, Jack, if you
you said Suicide Squad,
No,
which you can't do.
I'll get there. I said, if you watch Stranger Things in time, we could do a special about it. And you're like, oh, okay. And then I said, and if you watch Suicide Squad in time, we could do a special on that as well. And neither of those specials are coming. So...
I honestly don't think you've ever mentioned Stranger Things to me as a special.
I did. If I didn't, I thought about it.
Right. I think that might be what it is, Liam, because for real, I remember the Suicide Squad discussion.
Yeah. It might be something I just thought about. Who knows? But...
well, that's your fault, because I probably could have watched Stranger Things before I went on holiday.
It's too late now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, buddy. Good job.
So we probably don't have any specials coming up for you, but, that's alright, isn't it?
We could always do a delayed Suicide Squad one.
We'll just do it in we went to the cinema.
That's true, yeah.
Actually, let's wait and see. If we both watch it and we're like, shit, we have like an hour's worth of stuff to say about it,
yeah,
we'll do a special. If we're like... Because I think the thing with like Batman vs Superman is we had very different approaches to it.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with Suicide Squad. If we're both like, yeah, we enjoyed it, we dug it, Margot Robbie's hot, and we both like Will Smith, then we'll just do it at the beginning of an episode in the future.
Yep.
Bye!
Bye!